TJ Watt has a new deal.
What?
I don't know that there was really any thought that it wasn't going to happen. With all the news, because there is no news, the last couple of weeks, well, maybe they're listening to trades. I don't think that was ever going to happen. The numbers, and I want to see the real numbers, 3 years, 123, 108 guaranteed at signing. It's 41 APY. And that's the number, 40 meaning average per year. That is the number that they had to hit. And that was the number that my 10-year-old nephew could have told you they were going to hit 41 APY, meaning $41 million average per year. Why? Because Myles Garrett was $40 million average per year. When, if you go back the last couple of weeks and look at the reporting or the speculation that maybe the Steelers would trade TJ Watt, you have to consider a couple of things. The Aaron Rodgers trade, the Jalen Ramsey, or trade signing the Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith and DK Metcalf. You're not going to make all those moves and not bring back TJ.
Exactly.
Number two is that any team that were to trade for TJ, first of all, it's after the draft, so those picks would not in any way assist the Steelers this year in their let's ride or die season. But also, any team that would trade for him would have to give him the contract the Steelers just gave him. And for a player whose age begins with a 3, NFL teams don't do that. They just don't. You could trade for Jalen Ramsey, for example, who's about to turn 30, but you don't necessarily have to give him a new deal. Matter of fact, the Dolphins eat some of the money. So it doesn't work that way. And so for teams or for fans that say, well, let's trade for Trey Hendrickson. Great. His age begins with a 3. He wants to get paid. A deal similar to TJ Watt, which sadly I don't think he is going to get. And then you have to give up the picks as well. It ain't going to happen. So TJ Watt gets his 41 APY, $41 million average per year, and this in all likelihood will be his final big contract. At this point, for guys like TJ, maybe for Myles, I think Myles has a little more staying power here, and for potentially Trey Hendrickson, you will eventually get to the point where you're doing Von Miller type deals, which are basically 1 year. They'll dress them up as more. Maybe they'll be 2-year commitments, but they're in a different economic stratosphere. The Steelers had to do this deal. You don't get Aaron Rodgers, trade for and pay DK Metcalf, bring in Jalen Ramsey, bring in BFF of Arthur Smith, Jonnu Smith. You don't do all those things and then get rid of TJ. The season for the Steelers, and I know you're already sick of the attention, to me, will be far more interesting than anything the Cowboys do. Far more interesting than maybe any other storyline of the NFL.
What we got to do with this?
Because it's either boom or bust. Sorry, TJ. We'll get to the Cowboys later because they do link to this story. It is boom or bust. And it has to be boom or bust. All the cynics that say, oh, they're going to go 9-8 again, or they're going to get in at 10-7, or 8-8 and eke into the wild card 8-9, and then lose in the wild card round or be one and done, regardless of how they get in. Maybe they win the division, but are still one and done. There is no worse scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers than being one and done here. If I am a Steeler fan, I am not. I was raised right. If I am a Steeler fan, I am hoping for Super Bowl or top 5 pick. There can be no in between. Like, if it goes badly, it has to go horribly. Because if you are picking at 20 or 21 again, you've gained nothing. Mm-hmm. You're spinning your tires. Because then Rodgers isn't back, and you are in no position to go get the future franchise guy that you so desperately need and have been trying to find. And maybe you have it in Will Howard. I hope you do. Will Howard smiling at Shane Gillis's Michigan jabs, sitting there at the ESPYs a couple of nights ago. I like Will Howard. 6th round pick, though. Are you really ready to throw him the keys? I don't root for injuries, but if Rodgers somehow can't make it through September or October or November, yeah, then you toss the keys to Will Howard and then you see what you have. But somewhere in the middle, i.e. status quo for the Steelers, after all this cash spent, the Steelers are in no way the Bengals. They're in no way the Bengals in terms of cash spending, but like the Bengals, they don't like making guarantees more than 1 year out. They have done that here with DK, and they have done that here with TJ. They have to win this year. I hate the pressure word in our business because everybody in this business, the NFL business that is, has pressure. Every single position. From the QC, meaning the quality control, glorified coaching interns that do a lot of the prep work for the coaches. They cut up film, although it's not actually cutting film these days. It's digital editing. It's all like those guys that prepare the play sheets and do all the back end work for the coaches. From QCs all the way up to ownership, there is unspeakable pressure on everybody. Broadcasters, everybody. It is a pressure job. It is the biggest stage in American sport and entertainment. It is a pressure job. So I hate to say, oh, there's a lot of pressure on this team this week. Yeah, no bleep. Okay? Yeah, sure. Yeah. And it'll be that way Sunday or Monday or Thursday or Saturday in December. Every week, every game. Mm-hmm. But with the Steelers, there is more this year. Because it does mean more this year. Because they are at the fork in the road, and they chose to go that way, which is spend all the money and try to win. Well, they're all trying to win. Yeah, but they're really trying to win this year. And if it don't work, there will be a teardown. You can only tear it down so much. You can't get rid of DK. You just paid him. Things like there's only so many moves you truly can make, but it will be a total, what was that show? Total Home Makeover?
Extreme Home Makeover.
Extreme Home Makeover Team Edition. Yep. That's what it will be. Now let's tie it to the Cowboys. Because Micah Parsons has still not gotten paid. And Jerry Jones has said for years, I don't care, man. Or weeks or months, whatever. I'm going to wait. I waited with Dak. I'll wait with CD. I'm going to wait with him. Who cares? Okay. Well, I guess you like burning money because you could have had this deal done and you waited. Now, it takes two to party. Takes two to tango. Micah might have wanted to wait, but here's what's going to happen. Where's my reporting list? Dallas. July 21. Okay, so what's today? Monday.
18th.
On Monday, the Cowboys veterans report here to Southern California. Oxnard, up the 101 parking lot. And Micah will be there. He'll report. And I do not expect Micah Parsons to practice on your field or on your television anytime soon. And I wouldn't either. You can do the old hold in.
Nope.
TJ Watt did it a few years ago before his previous contract. Yeah. So he will, I'm guessing, hold in and he will wait. And if the APY was 41 for TJ, then this will have to be 41.5 at a minimum, or 41.1. It'll have to beat TJ. You look at this two ways. Hey, we have the template now. Just beat that by $1 and the Cowboys can do the deal right now. They could actually. At this very moment, you can do this deal. Right? Maybe you add a little bit of a premium because Micah's 25 as opposed to in his 30s. Micah's an ascending player. There are some around the league that think TJ had a step back last year when it came to his play. But they could do the deal right now. I don't think they will. I think it's going to take a while. And I think this is going to become a thing again. As for Trey Hendrickson, no player has more sacks collectively the last 2 years than Trey Hendrickson. He should get paid. The Bengals are not going to give him $108 million guaranteed. I will walk home. It's only about 4 or 5 miles. It's not that bad of a walk. I will walk home if they give him $108 million guaranteed. So I love doing the show. I could actually ride my bike here. And I don't mean the Mike Del Tufo motorized cheapo. By the way, I saw him again 2 weeks ago.
He told us.
Hey! It's just waving his arms. Okay. Yeah. They're not going to do it. Well, why don't you trade him for a 1? Because nobody was going to give you a 1. How about a 2? I don't think anybody was going to give you a 2. I like Trey Hendrickson a lot. He's not viewed the same way as TJ Watt, sadly, around the league. He's not viewed the same way as Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons. He's a heck of a player. His stats will tell you that. Just turn to the film. It will tell you that. He's not viewed the same way. No one has given you those picks.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.